baby, we're back. Reef Keeper says, I love shenanigans. I love shenanigans as well, sir. We need some more shenanigans in this world because everyone is too fucking serious. Everyone's too goddamn serious, not realizing that none of us be getting out of this world alive. But that's okay. We can have fun while we're here. The Schwab says, hello, Prees. What's up, man? Good morning to you. I see you've already requested SoFi as well. I was actually just quickly looking at it before this stream just to see what the hell's going on right there. Also see Manicore TA killing it today. Short of the 377 EMA on the 4-hour. Fucking nice. Nicely done. In fact, I believe that was indeed the high of this current rally for Bitcoin. Target number 1 and target number 2 already hit. I'm out. Thanks for your courses. All good, man, and glad to hear as well. That's fucking awesome, man. That is super fucking awesome. I actually am genuinely curious, just based off of the Schwab's message there, what SoFi is looking like. We'll get to the rest of Super Chats later, but this one was a little bit more. And I don't know, man. I think that this one, if you do believe in it long-term, if you really do like it long-term, buying when it's 50% down, not the worst deal in the world. However, I do think that this one will come lower. How much more lower? Maybe somewhere around 14, 15 bucks. So in this case, is close enough. Perhaps yes, but instead of, buying it 50% down, you might get it like 65 to 70% down. Again, these are preference calls at the end of the day. If I'm employing your preference right now in the sense that I believe in this one long-term, which I don't, because I not to say that it's not relevant long-term, it's just I haven't done the research. I don't know. I don't care. But if that was my preference, then hey, I don't know, 50% down, hard, that's fine. Do I think it comes lower? Yes. Do I think that you got a chance somewhere around 15 bucks? Probably yes. But hey, DCAing somewhere down around here. Again, if you're going to fast forward like 4 or 5 years out, I don't know, probably okay. Anyways, plenty to talk about today as Bitcoin does get the rejection that we spoke about in yesterday's video. The old witches have struck it again. They've stricken again, they striked. They striked? They stroke? They stroke. We saw a really good movie last night. It was called Dirty Grandpa. It wasn't what I was expecting, but it was it was so fucking dumb but funny. So fucking stupid. With Zac Efron and what was it, Robert De Niro? Yeah, that was good, man. That was fucking good. One of the characters in there reminded me completely of the Crypto Face. Do you know the Crypto Face? Of course you know the Crypto Face. He's legendary. I've actually met him in real life. I love that guy. I fucking love that guy. He's great, man. But one of the characters in there really, really reminded me of him. And it was so fucking funny, man. It was good. It was really, really good. Terrible movie, but also good. It's one of those like terrible movies, but kind of funny movies. Anyways, indeed, man, indeed. Yeah. Like I said, a lot to talk about today in traditional markets as well. We got gold reversing, playing a move out below 4,900 for the first time in quite some time. I do think that this one still has lower to go, but it's going to take some time. Of course, SPY, traditional markets, continuing to be a fucking thorn in my side. Why? Because yes, it is a downtrend. Yes, the bias is for this trend to continue to the downside, but it continues to just move so slowly, so much like molasses, and inch its way, just in this very, very controlled demolition move to the downside, which always brings up the possibility of a bear trap. But still, I have the same predisposition for what would effectively confirm a bear trap as yesterday's video, which is effectively closing back above last Monday's high. Last Monday's high of 68.52. Actually, that might be, is that last Monday's high? Well, whatever. Yeah, it is last Monday's high. The number is 68.52, however, and as long as it's below there, yeah, I'm still bearish on this. Just how much more downside do we have? It's fighting this one off so valiantly that it really does make me consider that, hey, if this thing wanted to dump out, it's had so many fucking chances, man. What's going to get this goddamn thing down? And ultimately, time shall tell, I suppose. But hey, as long as it's below that high, yes, it is bearish. I should be looking for more downside. I am looking for more downside, I guess. But am I shorting this? Hell no. Hell fucking no. I'm just looking for better places to buy lower in this case. So I do want to be going over that a little bit later. We'll obviously go over Bitcoin here too. I want to read through a few more of these comments because there have been some really, really good ones as well. I appreciate the all good, Mr. Schwab. All good. By the way, I love your system, Mr. Schwab. I've been on your system. Really, really good stuff. I like it a lot more than Vanguard. A lot more. Well, Fidelity's pretty good too, but Fidelity, Schwab, both pretty damn good. The great thing about Schwab though, man, is you have everything in one fucking place. I love that, man. Like you can have, you literally have like a bank account in your investment portfolio. It's like, okay, this is super streamlined, super cool. And I don't know, man, just I've had really good experience with them. So yeah, I'll be singing their praises until I don't, until I don't. I'm getting out of this world more alive than ever. Holy shit. I'm the youngest man alive as well. Amazing to meet you, Jack the Wick. Some interesting comments as well earlier, man. I have to push back a little bit on that. I don't know if you're just memeing or if you're, or if you're talking shit, but I see this sentiment a lot. So I'm not picking on you if this really is your belief, but I see this sentiment a lot. It was very much propagated by a 14-year-old fundamental on-chain analyst from back in 2020 or 2021. Goes something along the lines of, when the whales move their Bitcoins off exchanges, it creates a smaller supply, which increases demand and brings up the price. Sir, look, I am a Bitcoin believer. I believe in the Bitcoin, okay? I put my right hand over my heart and I sing the praises of the Bitcoin Jesus, but this is just pure fucking cope, man. This is not how shit works. When you take supply off, that does not make demand go up. Demand can stay constant and supply goes down, and price can still go down, man. What will make price go up is an imbalance between buyers and sellers in favor of the buyers who just want to fucking buy at any price. Less supply doesn't necessarily inherently make price go up. In fact, that is clearly not the case. From 2020 to 2021, it was championed by he's probably a good guy. He's probably a good guy. Just he's young, he doesn't know any better, and he's drawing logical conclusions. They're just incorrect in that we have a supply shock. That's right. Bitcoins keep on coming off of the exchanges. Therefore, we have a supply shock incoming, and that means the price must go up. Meanwhile, Bitcoin went all the way from about $70,000 down to $15,000, and the whole way fucking down, that supply kept on coming off. And all of these people, buying into this complete fucking hopium bullshit, naturally got wrecked on the downside. And that happens, it's the baptism by fire, obviously. But look, man, that just speaks to the inherent silliness that people will grab onto despite all of the contrary evidence. I mean, it's like people fucking believing in Greta Thunberg, She doesn't know shit. She's a fucking kid, or at least she was a fucking kid. Now I guess she's like a young adult. So it's like, who gives a fuck about her now for real? But before, it was like, oh, it's a young kid and they're saying what I like, so I'm going to go on with them. And, it was the same thing with that guy as well. It's a young kid. He's saying stuff that people like that confirms their views, but it's incorrect. It's just incorrect. And again, I'm not talking shit about him. That's a very logical conclusion. I get where he's coming from. It's just, he's a fucking kid. What does he know? And he will know stuff later on if he sticks in the game, for sure. Probably more than me at this point too, because he started a little bit younger perhaps. But at the end of the day, man, people are very much inclined to believe anyone who just confirms their already previously held beliefs. And I do the same shit as well, man. Like, I don't really go that much out of my way looking for contrary evidence because it pisses me off and I don't really care anyways. If I'm just being honest, man, we tell ourselves that we do that. We tell ourselves that, yes, we are the unbiased arbiter of taking in information, and that we are absolutely not the exception to the, or we are the exception to the rule. We are not just the average person. But at the end of the day, man, this is just human psychology at work. We're all almost designed like this. It just is what it is, man. I had this epiphany over the weekend as well, because I was tuning into like this war channel. It was this guy who was fighting in Ukraine on the Ukrainian side, and he was saying some stuff, obviously pro-Ukrainian, and the comment section, some people were totally on board with what he was saying. It's like, fuck yeah, man, I totally believe you. And then other people were so convinced that he was wrong, so convinced that, the Russians were doing this and that and whatever. And look, at the end of the day, none of us fucking know. None of us fucking know. We won't know for like another, 50, 100 years anyways, because... And even then, the history book's probably going to be a little bit biased anyway. So it's like, it's very difficult, man. At the end of the day, we're all in our own propaganda tunnels, and there ain't no getting out. So it is what it is, man. It's best to just acknowledge that shit and move on. That's why... Wait, no, I won't go into that one right now, man. We got Nacho. He wants to look at some actual crypto shitcoins. Amazing that there are still people in this community who actually believe in crypto shitcoins. I'm genuinely curious just to see what the hell this thing looks like, because I imagine it looks like what most crypto shitcoins look like. And actually, to be fair, it doesn't. You know what? There we go. See, that's my own bias. He's getting in the way. The information has 100% denied what I was thinking right there. And to be fair, for a shitcoin, that is a flowing river to the upside, at least for right now. Now, long term, does this thing fail? Probably yes, because almost all these things do. But hey, for right now, I can't call it a shitcoin, or at least I can't call it a shit trend, because it actually does have a much better trend than almost everything else in the crypto sphere. It's fucking crazy, man. You always get humbled here and there, man. It is what it is. MU has earnings today. Yeah, are there a lot of earnings coming out right now? Jack the Wick says it's not how supply and demand works, but okay, sir, okay, so you actually are serious. Okay, so you actually might be rejected. Look, if you have constant demand and supply goes down, what happens to price? It'll actually go up a little bit. But is the demand constant? That is an assumption that you have, which is not true. It's not verifiable. And how do we know that? Because if you look at the fucking charts and you open goddamn eyes, you can see that the price is going fucking down and has been going down ever since October of 2025. Holy shit! God damn. And you look what you did now. You made me scare my beautiful, precious little angel of a dog. You fucking moron. You also hate dogs too. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. These people vote. That's right. Nova Sparks. That's right. These people vote. But look, man, like I said, I want to also acknowledge all of the dumbass fucking beliefs that I have too. Because look, I have a lot of them. Anyways, into some Bitcoin price action analysis we go. Let's go over, let me actually get my notes over here. Oh yes, I did take another options positions based off of yesterday's rejection. Let me go into it right here, show it off really, really quickly. This one is a little bit more on the risky side. I should acknowledge because I don't have any cover for this at the moment. I just shorted the $77,000 call strike 20 times for $500. This was done basically on yesterday's closure on the confirmation of yesterday's rejection. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just shorting effectively the wings. I'm shorting the edge of this range based upon yesterday's rejection. It's a little bit above yesterday's, or not yesterday's, or I guess it would be Tuesday's high. Or sorry, yesterday was Tuesday. Well, whatever that $76,000 high was. Going a little bit above there. I still got my short put spread as well. And I should acknowledge that this very well might come into an issue later on. Absolutely, this one is a bit more risky here with yesterday's rejection because as Bitcoin does come down, if it does violate on this pullback somewhere below about $65,000, I do believe that position will go potentially underwater before that expiration date. So I will need to cover if that does happen. Covering in that instance actually will probably lock in more money, to be honest with you. probably end up producing more profit on that position. But yes, actions may need to be taken depending upon how quickly this does evolve from here. So in this case, the 5-day time frame is more or less a rejection of that 5-day 200 simple average right there. Yeah, it's a little bit early to be calling that, but if I had to give some sort of an optimistic look onto Bitcoin right now, it would be this. It would go over here to the Rev and Ribbons indicator, and let's say, while the Rev and Ribbons are quite naturally a rejection of the upper mid band, this dotted red line right here. Technically, you could still interpret this as a trend in motion, or at least a valid trend, as long as it is basing above, effectively not closing below the mid band on the daily Rev and Ribbons indicator. That is now 70,776. And it is very possible that Bitcoin does close below there today. But as long as Bitcoin's above there, it is potential that this could just be a pullback into a higher low in alignment with the trend. My personal opinion is this is not the case. This is not the time to be looking for that. This is still not very unlikely to be a runaway rally, despite Mr. Jack the Wick's very insightful information earlier. That's hey, it has to go. Price has to go up, man, because supply's coming off the exchanges. First off, you don't even fucking know that to begin with. You don't know how much is coming off and how much is going on. And on top of that, I mean, here's the most obvious point why this is real, besides just price going down, is that, hey, we have derivative contracts, both futures and options. You can short those. And that is not going to be related to the overall supply. Crazy idea. Crazy fucking idea. I know, but yes, indeed, that can happen. Anyways, yeah, look, if Bitcoin does break the midband on a daily closure, that is 7776. Then I'd generally be looking for this rally to get unraveled. Next stop, probably somewhere around $66,000, or actually, no, it would be the top side of this lower band, which is 68,250. It's probably just a short-term bounce, to be fair. But yeah, if Bitcoin does get down around there, maybe like an intraday bounce. But ultimately, I'd be looking for the majority of this rally to be unraveled, and that's okay. Ultimately, long-term, my views have really not changed here. I still think that Bitcoin's in a long-term value area. I still think Bitcoin's in a great long-term value area, to be honest with you, but it can very well come lower. And if we go ahead and reference the LTI indicator right here, I actually got another strong buy signal on the actual low. So not only has this one played out very uniformly to the previous signals in which that first buy signal leads on to another 20% lower move, but now we're getting that second buy signal, which does start to really make me consider that this base here in the upper 50s / lower 60s does have a realistic chance of being perhaps a macro low. But in the short term, Bitcoin range bound, meaning range bound between basically the highs that we saw this week and the lows that we saw back over in February right here. So, and maybe a little bit lower on a stray wick. Anyways, my point is that Bitcoin probably going to swing down here, but I'm I personally am actually not looking for that much lower as of right now. I'm totally okay with being wrong on this, by the way. But you know, that's kind of my disposition at the current moment, just based off of the signals that we've been getting. This one, like I said, has played very uniformly with the signals that we've gotten in the past. If I go back to the end of the 2022 bear market cycle, we can see on that first strong buy signal right here, between there and the next closing low, Bitcoin lost about 20.5%. On top of that, if we go to the previous cycle in 2018, same thing. First signal right here, next low about 20.5% away. This one happened a lot sooner, to be fair. And then, of course, we go to the cycle prior to that. We can see the same thing right here. Here's your first strong buy signal. Next closing low, not wick low, because wick low was much lower, but closing low was about just over 20% away as well. And then, of course, we don't have really anything for 2011 because it was just a little bit too young. It's too young, too premature. But in this case, we did get our first buy signal right here. And our current closing low is how much away? Our current closing low is actually about 15.5% away. 20% would put Bitcoin at about 61 to 60,000 bucks. Anyways, you know, I'm still looking at that as valid, at least from my perspective. And by the way, I completely forgot I fucking whiffed on it again, but we do have our sale going on right now. It ends tomorrow. The code is, let me just type it out right here. You probably already know, man. I mean, shit. It's not like it's any secret right now, but 8 years, the code, 20% off of any one of the programs or services in the link in the description below for Teachable. I'm talking about this guy right here. Whoops, it looks like this is on a bit of a redacted feed, but you can get it right here. Again, it applies to literally everything. And then also the TA 101 playlist, which is 100% free, is available in this link right here. I should also let you know I made significant progress on the options 101 playlist, which again will be 100% free as well. It'll be a similar setup to the TA 101 playlist, but I'm getting kind of bogged down in the quiz section. I've already got through about 40%. Yeah, about 40% of the total quizzes that I intend to do, but like, I'm just so fucking nerdy when it comes to options that I can't help myself but do super fucking like super intricate quizzes, like, you know, getting really into the minutia. But I do think it's really, really important because when it comes to options, if you understand the fundamentals of options really well, everything else you don't even need to learn. You will just inherently know it. But if you don't understand the fundamentals well, then you become one of those redacts who just regurgitates information when it comes to these specific strategies, and you will never be able to make them work in the ideal manner. The best way to use options is to, again, fundamentally understand them and then apply them when they are most relevant, because most people, or not most people maybe, but most retailers, if they're even doing option strategies to begin with, besides just like buying fucking calls, you know, which is totally retarded, by the way, totally fucking retarded. If you only are buying premiums, you will lose money over time. I can assure you of this. I can literally assure you of this because the probabilities, I can 100% confirm, as a market maker, as a former market maker authorized trader in equity options, the probabilities of just buying naked options will always be against you. It's always going to be against you. The way that those things are priced are to close with zero intrinsic value on expiration. I can literally promise you this. It's no secret, by the way, but apparently just people don't fucking know this. But yeah. Anyways, where was I? Yes. What most people do is they're just like, I'm going to put on an iron condor right here. And it's like, okay, maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but it's never going to be optimal. You have to understand exactly how those contracts operate, and then they become superpowers. Then they actually do become superpowers. So I'm really excited about bringing that one to life. Like I said, I'm 40% done now. I went super ham on it yesterday. I think I'll do just a Teachable launch maybe at the end of next week, and then we'll drip it out on YouTube later on. But yeah, so far so good. Anyways, what else do we got here? What's up, T Knight? I see you over there. Put your orders for a sharp position at the price you'd normally have your static stop loss. Amazing idea. I've heard this idea many times as well. I mean, it kind of makes sense, I guess. You know, with the people who talk about, oh, once I get fucking wicked out, you know, that's when price goes in my direction. But a lot of the time you just see a bounce around there and you don't actually see, it's kind of like recency bias. But anyways, maybe it does work for you. Who knows? Anyways, let's go over a little bit more with Bitcoins here. We did get that. There was a potential setup that could have led to higher prices, but it did not get validated on yesterday's 2-day time frame closure. That was the interplay between the red 5 EMA and the yellow 21 EMA right here. At the last second before yesterday's closure, Bitcoin did come back down and these did not officially cross. So again, this is just another thing. Bitcoin is range bound at best here. It's range bound at best. I'm looking for a move below 70,000 bucks. How low this one comes, who the fuck knows, but I would be personally anticipating this one coming back down, decently from here. I think that this is a range move. I think you just found your range high. Now you're going to come back down to the middle of your range and maybe even the low side of your range. In the middle of your range as of right now is where that would be at the 50% retracement level, which is 68,100. So, below 68,100, I mean, I might as well even just cover right there anyways. I mean, shit, maybe I'll just short some more calls too. I mean, for fuck's sake, like this should hold for another couple of weeks, I would imagine, at least. Even if it does end up being, even if it does end up flipping around and going to the upside from there, I think that this is going to take some time, as I've been saying. Remember, we are coming off of some of the most extreme volatility levels that Bitcoin's seen in recent years. The only comparable weekly volatility levels that we've seen in the past few years are one from November 2024 off of the election hype. And then, of course, before that, in March of 2024, when Bitcoin headed up to the previous all-time high on that first major rally. We are once again seeing the same thing over here. And in those previous two instances, you can see that Bitcoin spent a lot of time going sideways and down as well from those highs. So this one over here took about 112 days. So that's like 4 months almost from that high and coming down significantly as well, about 31%. This one over here took about 147 days to find its low. Still took another few months to actually, work its way up, but still it's like basically half a year of straight down, kind of straight down, I guess, but sideways and down, more accurately said. And in this case here, we just saw extreme volatility in early February. So we're 1 month, a little bit over 1 month into this saga here. I don't think that this is ending anytime soon, man. I think the people who are looking for, $100,000 are going to be wrong. I think the people who are looking for $40,000 are going to be wrong, at least in the near future. I think that you're going to get a lot of this. And this can go on for, I would imagine, at least another couple months. And maybe even more than that. I mean, the longer it goes on for, the better, in my opinion, for this, potentially being the next major, perhaps even macro low. But yeah, right now we're only just 1 month and a couple weeks into this. So it's very, very early days. You want it to take longer in this range here if you are bullish, is what I'm trying to say. What else do we have that I have missed so far? We went over the LTI. Yeah, let's go over traditional markets now. Or let's go over gold, because gold's the ones that is actually having the interesting move. So we've been calling a top on gold for a while, calling major bearish divergences based off of Caretaker's RSI right here. The 5-day time frame has it, the 3-day time frame has it, the 8-day time frame has it, the weekly time frame has it. The bi-weekly time frame actually does not have it, which is rather interesting. But it does go up to the weekly multiple times. So that should be good enough which we already have 3 drives of bearish divergence to at least get this on a test down to that yellow 21 EMA. That is 46.45. Again, it's going to rise up with each and every passing week, but somewhere down around there is kind of like my general compass for this move. And then, very likely a nice bounce from there. Is that bounce going to be a reversal back onto all-time highs? I don't fucking know. I would assume not. My opinion is that this probably is the next macro high. But, if there ever was a place for a higher low, that would be it. So I'd certainly be open to that possibility. But what I personally think is going to happen is you come down there, you bounce, and then you fail that bounce, and then you come down, much lower to like upper 3s, low 4s. That is where maybe you do find your next macro low. But again, it's like what we just spoke about with Bitcoin. This thing just saw the most extreme levels of volatility on the monthly that it's seen since, it's going back to like the 70s is the most, I would say 06 would be more comparable, or at least the most recent comparable time. It's probably going to take some time shaking itself out here. So, the fun action is done for gold, in my opinion. And also, again, why I think that this is okay, look, my opinion is that this is a macro high here. Why? Because previous cycles have lasted about 10 years generally. We see this one over here from 1970 to 1980. Literally 10 years on the dot, or almost on the dot, 113 bars on the monthly. We saw the more recent one right here from 01 to 2011. This one taking 126 bars on the monthly. Again, basically 10 years. And then, of course, we also had this 10-year cycle over here in 1930 to 1940 as well. And then, of course, this most recent one, we saw the lows in January 2016, and we're seeing the highs in January 2026. It is kind of weird how that's so far right on schedule, and we are seeing a lot of the signals that you'd be expecting to see on a macro high. So Look, I got no skin in the game on this one. If I'm wrong on this, I'm not going to bear any real financial consequences. But if I had to call it, yeah, I do think that it is a macro high personally. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine. It's fine for me. But yeah, and let's go check out crude light as well. This one's been kind of holding around the highs, stalling a little bit. This one, my personal opinion is that this is very likely going to be a high that lasts for a while. But if I'm going to be wrong about anything, it's definitely going to be oil, because I'm very, very rarely right about oil. I basically just ignore it for the most part. But it has been moving recently, so I kind of have to talk about it, I suppose. But in this case, this one did retest that previous high from 3 or 4 years ago in June of 2022. It's very common to pull back from these regions. I do expect this one to come back down to like $90 again. Is going to set in a higher low there and then try again higher. It's possible, I guess, but I do feel like the crowded trade and like the very retailer mindset right now is the same thing that I've seen many times in this chat. The same thing that I've seen many times, across the internet and across the interwebs and all these sort of things, which is, bro, the Iran war is going to make crude light go to the moon. And I feel like everyone's just thinking that. And this thing is just notorious for being a fucking rug pull, man. So that's just my personal view on it. Again, do we have objective information that is topped yet? No, we don't. So am I premature in saying that? Yeah, absolutely. And I might massively regret it, in which case, like I said, I got no skin in the game on this one either. So I will bear no financial responsibility, just a little bit of reputational risk there. But yeah, in this case, how would it actually confirm a macro high? It would need to really come back down below $80 and settle a daily below there before that becomes a high probability sort of call, I suppose. And then, of course, we kind of already went over traditional marks here, but SPY still holding the line valiantly. But here's the thing, man. I'm still sticking with what I've been saying. I did move down the reversal point, but it is now at 68.52. As long as it's below there, it is bearish. Yes, price action pivot is higher. I've moved this one down from there to now here. I do think I would call a reverse above 68.52, but hey, right now it's still below, so I have to be looking down, I guess. Ultimately, if this one does head lower, I look at it just as a long-term opportunity. I think next area of interest would be about 6,500 even. If that fails, you got another attempt probably somewhere down around 6,250 to 6,300 or so. Ultimately, I'm just looking for places to buy for long-term holds. I'm not trading it, very, very actively. The only thing that I'm trading actively is Bitcoin options, and I've shown you all my positions there as well. Anyways, yeah, I think that is enough shit talking for today. I apologize to all the people that I've massively offended. I apologize to Jack the Wick as well. Sorry, man, but I have to have a little bit of fun, okay? These live streams are fun. Gets a little bit heated sometimes. I'm just having a little bit of fun, man. It's nothing personal. Oh, well, he's probably already left. Well, fair enough. Anyways, Sapien Scorpion says, congrats on 8 years. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's crazy how fast this time's flowing too, because it really does feel not that long ago that this channel started. It's just really become like the pride of my life, I guess, more so than trading, more so than investing. I don't know, man. There's just something magical about having a community and speaking with people on a daily basis and, building a skill together. I mean, it's what it really comes down to. But yeah, man, inflation and fluid and everything, says Nova Sparks. I'm not sure what that's about, but yeah. X has been unbearable. So many expert takes on oil and Iran. Yeah, man. I mean, that's really what X is. It's basically just like find someone who says what you want to say and then follow them, basically. At the end of the day, like I said, we don't fucking know what's going on there, man. I don't know. When it comes to the war, people have asked me my opinion on it. It's like, dude, I have no right to have an opinion on it, or at least no right to have an opinion on it that should be heated in any way. I'll put it that way, man. From what I can tell, from what I can see, which might very well be extremely biased, it seems to be a massive success militarily for the US and I guess Israel as well, and just the Gulf nations, because all of the Gulf nations basically hate Iran too. Is that going to materialize into like real change? I don't know. It's a lot easier to just fucking bomb countries into submission than it is to like have a real regime change. That's a big question mark. And what happens from there? What are the second, third orders of consequences? I don't fucking know. But militarily, it's like the Iraq or Afghanistan war. It's like, yeah, they're going to win. They're going to fucking roll over them. No problem. But what happens after that? Nobody fucking knows. And that's the real wild card. So we shall see, I suppose. We shall see. Yeah, we're here for a silly goose time, the old silly goose time. Do you still eat nothing but ground beef? No, I have incorporated a lot of carbohydrates into my diet recently, in the past few years, namely because I started to do very intense physical exercise, like high VO2 max exercises. I got into boxing. I got into just, fucking trying to push myself as hard as possible. So when you are, getting your heart rate up to like 170, 180 beats per minute, and especially if you're older than 30, which I very much am at this point, you kind of need those carbs to sustain that output. But yeah, if I wasn't doing that, I probably wouldn't. But I do feel healthier doing that activity. So, I still eat my ground beef. I still have my, my ground beef fucking patties every morning. I love it. But yeah, I also incorporate some chicken and rice now too. Some old chicken and rice. Like I eat like a real peasant, like a real fucking peasant. Chicken and rice is the majority of my meals. Yeah, I have some fruit over here. Yeah, I have some ground beef over there, but a lot of it is chicken and rice. And I love it, man. I love it. I'm not the kind of person who needs to go to like a nice fancy fucking restaurant. I don't care about that, man. I really don't. I think it's all bullshit anyways. I hate waiting at a restaurant too. It's like, you got to sit there, you got to wait. Then, okay, I don't hate it. I just don't care for it. I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking to myself the whole time, it's like, hey, I could have made my food like 20 minutes ago. I'm tired of waiting. And then, they come out and you don't know how it's cooked. You don't know what they did to it. You don't know if the chef's back there shitting in your food. Who knows, man? Who knows? All right, my apologies. I am talking massive shit right now. Let's get into the actual super chats of the day. We've got Steven Schickman first. He's looking at GLL as usual. This is the ultra short gold. This one's going up as we expected, and I do still think it's on the road to $20 or so. That is, however, where I would be expecting a lower high if this thing is going to continue to trend. But for right now, very likely does hit that. You got that cross between the red 5 and the yellow 21 EMA, so I like this as a corrective move. If you do play at a pullback, somewhere down to fill the gap at 1835 is fair game, but ultimately I'd be looking at this area right here as sort of like a magnet for price action. Until it gets hit. And then from there, I'd want to come back and reassess. I think it's a lot easier to look at gold right now. I think gold does have more downside overall, but this is, one of the, I just think it's a more difficult way to play, to be honest with you. Then you're also looking at SOX, SOXS. This is a bear 3X for semiconductors. And this one, what did we say about it last time? Last time I was probably looking for a bounce, and I think I'm gonna be wrong about that actually. Let's see on the daily right here. Yeah, you are on the daily. I'd still give it a chance, to be honest with you, man. I'd still give it a chance. I kind of doubt it's gonna make new lows from here. Okay, let's look at SOX. This is gonna be like, I really hate these bear 3X type shit. Okay, yes, this is obviously put in a low right here. So if I'm looking at SOS, God, this is the problem with this, man, is that I do think that SOX is going up. So this one should be going down. So, but it's a 3X, so it makes it difficult. I guess I would have to be looking down. I'd be biased towards downside here to like 34.5 or something like that. But that is a more difficult play. I think it's a lot easier to look at this chart. This chart right here is very much more obvious in that this is a higher low on bullish divergence as well. So that is good. And also the weekly coming off beautifully on that yellow 21 EMA. So I'd be bullish on this. I guess the other one I'd be slightly bearish on, but sometimes it doesn't play those ways with those 3X leveraged ETF type things. Anyways, Lutfi says, sir, could you check out ZEC for our daily weekly? Yeah, I gotcha. Are you in a short here too? Ladies short and everything, man. I guess my LARP lines have this one coming down. It seems a little bit aggressive. Oh yeah, okay, beautiful. Yeah, this is classic stuff. We've seen this so many times, man. Or woman, because Lutfi, I assume, based off of your avatar. Very nice lady. But yeah, so first off, all major moving averages in a bearish posturing here. You got a beautiful lower high on almost exactly that green 55 EMA on hidden bearish divergence on characters RSI 1, 2, 3 drives, or actually, sorry, 4 anchors, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is coming off of extreme volatility. So this is undoubtedly, in my mind, a trend, like a trending lower high here, and very likely to come back down towards, 220 to 200 base, somewhere in this pocket right there. Do I think that it makes new lows? Look, it's a downtrend. The trend is your friend. I don't think it's the worst idea to be looking for a low there. Then again, I do look at the weekly and you got a little bit of a signal right there. It still is pending confirmation, obviously, but if I go to the monthly, I probably wouldn't call a continuation on new lows for this trend. I think that you're going to come back down towards these lows. I'd give it a chance to bounce from there. But yeah, short term down, medium term, I think it probably does get another bounce from that low $200 number. But short term, yeah, down. I think you're on the right side of the trade, or assuming you are, because you are the shorting queen at the moment. Anyways, Cameron Maltby is next. He's looking at UMAC, daily weekly. Gotcha. Unusual machines. This came up somewhere. I think someone emailed about this, and I looked at it for a second. I'm like, damn, this is good. And it's still good. It's still really good. I think I even added it to my list. Let's see. Yeah, I did over here. Yeah, this is really, really good, actually. Beautiful retest on that red 5 EMA on the weekly. You're back around those previous highs, 1, 2, 3 higher lows. I mean, it's just textbook, man. Follow the trend. Follow the yellow brick trend. If this thing did pull back down somewhere around $20, I'd be a buyer there. I don't know if it's going to. I think you kind of just got that on Monday/Tuesday. So yeah, I think it's up and away, man. This is good. This is really, really good. And there is an implied move to be made because this is an ascending triangle. So let's see what it looks like. Probably finding the next high somewhere around like $30. Come back to it after that. See what it looks like, I guess. Anyways, one moment. Sometimes I go out in my yard, bury myself in dirt, and pretend I'm a carrot. That's an interesting proposition. Why not a potato? I always wanted to be a potato, bro. So I believed, and then I finally achieved. Yeah, makes sense. Anyways, the Schwab, we already got the Schwab, so we're all good there. What's up, Go With Boris? Best regards, and thank you for the 101. Fuck yeah, man! I'm glad that it is treating some people very, very well. Really, really happy to see a lot of the feedback on it. It seems like the people who are putting in the effort with it, who are really taking the quizzes seriously and going through the content methodically, are getting a lot out of it. And I don't know, man. That really is one of the most fulfilling things. It's just you can pass on use, at least stuff that you think is extremely useful, to other people, and they find it useful as well. That's very few things are better, honestly. Anyways, ST32091 says, Happy Wednesday to you as well, sir. What is your weekly and monthly guidance on, okay, just one shitcoin at a time, sir. We'll look at ONDS. Weekly, I like. Monthly, I'm going to probably like as well. Monthly, a little bit less so. Monthly, I don't know. I think you might get one more run at like $15.50. When does that happen? I don't fucking know. Weekly time frame, I'm bullish on this, yeah, in the short term. I do think that you will retest this high at $15, maybe a little bit higher. But you got a nice setup here. Like, I totally get it. Hidden bullish evidence on character RSI, plus very low volatility in an uptrend. You have to respect that. So I'd be bullish on it as long as it's above this month's low at 920, targeting maybe somewhere around $15. Maybe it makes new highs. Looking at the monthly, I don't think it's going to make significantly new highs or anything like that. But yeah, short term, I think it does try an upside move. Yeah, it's not bad. At least in the short term. Long term, look, if you lose this month's low, it's going to have a nice reset, probably back down well into the single digits, like $6.50, $7, something like that. Let's see. Great White Hype is looking at NVO. Is it Novo Nordisk? Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one. It's fat drug. Weekly and monthly. Pop your fat pill. Pop your fat pills. Yeah. Look, man, it's right on the monthly 200 simple. I have a very strong personal rule. I do not instantly get bearish like the first test into this. And if I do want to be a buyer, I mean, it's not a bad place for it. And to be fair, this thing's come down like what, 70%? Yeah, 75% right there. This is not looking like an asset that wants to bottom exactly at the 200 simple right now on the monthly. But hey, I think if you believe in it long term, you kind of got to take your chances there. But the higher term time frame that I go, like this really does want to come down lower. Like I think at most optimistic, maybe, well, I guess it's not that much lower, maybe like another 10% lower, 20% lower towards $33. Hit the 6-month 55 EMA right there, which is your previous high from 2015. Previous tops become support, generally speaking. Got a major moving average as well. So I guess, but yeah, if I'm just shooting it straight, man, the quarterly and the monthly is not looking like an asset that wants to bottom right here, even though probably good value long term. opportunity cost wise might be bad because I think it's going to take a long time to go sideways before it has another real upside move again. Like this is a parabolic blow off top, absolutely by the very definition of it. So I mean, if we fast forward 10 years from here, it's probably okay. If we fast forward 3 years from here, it's probably still kind of in the same range between 50 and I would think like 50 and 25, tremendously massive range. But yeah, it is what it is. Return to the Maxes. Hero Prees indeed. Hero Prees. I just rewatched the South Park Shitty Walk episode the other day, man. So fucking good. It's a classic. It's a fucking classic.
Your mom laughed too.
Even my mom laughed. Even my very conservative mom laughed. She thought it was very funny. Mr. D says, "Hey Crown, what's up, man? When's good to enter Micron? It's all-time high." Again, zero way that I could ever possibly give you a good answer without knowing many more things about you than just one sentence on a YouTube comment. But look, obviously this thing's in new all-time high territory. Are you entering for a trade? Are you entering for a long-term investment? I don't know. That completely takes, are you entering for like a 5-minute swing trade? Probably right here is fine. If you're entering for a daily, I mean, probably it's going to go up from here too. Weekly, probably going to go up. I mean, it's just a fresh breakout. All time frames want to go higher, man. Probably does go, decently above $500, but is it the best investable time? I don't like investing in assets that are on a fresh new all-time high breakout, or even like a little bit maturely on a new all-time high breakout. I mean, because that happened like what, 4 or 5 months ago now? Yeah. But do I think it goes up from here? Yeah. Do I think it's going to go past $500? Yes. Is that investable for you? I don't fucking know. Where's your risk? Where's your risk? That's what you should be asking yourself. Your risk is right here. This is where this reverses. Price action pivot is at 396 and change. So as long as you're above there, I'm happy to hold. Below there, I'm not happy to hold. If that's cool with you, then by all means. But that's about 15% away from where you're currently at on price action. So in my opinion, that's a lot of risk to figure out if you're going to be wrong. Now, I think this will go to the upside, but again, comes down to your preference, man. Red Pill Closet says BKSY. This is Black Sky. This is one of the defense technology companies that I actually did really heavily consider investing in. I actually did not at the end of the day. I ended up going with Red Cat, which has been, to be fair, a little bit better, but this one's not bad. Look, I think you're going back up to $30 highs here. I think that you have a real decent shot to even break above those highs, honestly. This is the right backdrop. This is the right narrative. This is, generally a bullish chart right here in the short term, at least. The only sort of impediment I can see in the short term is that green 55 EMA on the monthly time frame. But hey, if you can close this month out above 29.79, this thing's going to very likely go on a screaming rally. I think you even go maybe like 2x from there, back up to 50, 60 bucks. I mean, this is good. This is objectively good. But just like the other chart, where's your risk? Your risk is right here. Your risk is 1752, the price action pivot right here. So if you're cool with that, which is big percentage risk to be fair, then hey, by all means. But at the same time, if it does turn down, it's a long way down. So yeah, my personal opinion is though is that it will bust out to the upside. You got a beautiful caretaker RSI setup right here, hidden bullish divergence. You already are back around those previous highs almost. So usually these things will break out. So yeah. Man, we've been relying a lot. There's 2 indicators. Okay, 3 indicators that we've been relying on a shit ton in this channel recently. Rev and ribbons for one, caretaker's RSI, and then price action pivots. Like these things have just been money recently too. Anyways, the conservative cat says NBIS, I just skipped Plunker. Plunker says thoughts on Bitcoin monthly Jewel, same read before every bull cycle. Let's check it out. Let me bring up my Jewel chart right here. Okay, there we go. And you're on the monthly. Yeah, you're on the monthly. Is this the? This is not a bullish sign on the monthly Jewel at all, man. Previous cycles have bottomed out in these regions. Or let me just mark them off like this. Boom. I'm actually not even getting this one properly. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. So first off, the Jewel was significantly lower. And yeah, these were basically on the lows before. And it was on the first tick of turning white. So this one's got a long way to go, man. Or maybe you're just talking about these over here and you're saying, hey, we probably shouldn't be expecting a low until we see something like this. I think that's a valid statement. It's a valid statement. How, like, let's do some bad stuff here, but let's anticipate what this is going to probably look like over in the next few months. So if I had to draw out where it goes, boom, probably next tick right here, tick after that right here, 3, 4. Yeah, this can take a long time. This might take a long fucking time. Again, I'm doing a very crude way of extrapolating that, but could take a long time. Could take a very long time before you start to get those signals. So yeah, do the previous cycles bottom out on similar signals? Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Is the current signal similar to those? No, absolutely not. But I don't think that that's what you're saying anyway. So probably just talking to myself. The conservative cat is looking at NBIS. Gotcha, man. NBIS. Okay. Nebius. Not bad. Again, another caretaker RSI setup right here. Hidden bullish divergence plus low volatility. Not bad. Already on. Basically all-time highs. I mean, this is consolidation at the highs. So even got to drive a phantom hidden bullish divergence here. Look, if I have to call it, I'm going to call continuation to the upside to new highs, probably up to next area of interest. It's not going to be like a next month thing, but I don't know, if we fast forward a few months, maybe like 180, something like that. I'm just bullish on this thing, especially as long as you're above the most recent price action pivot here at 85.53. Again, a lot of risk if you're going to take a position right now, but I personally think that it will continue with upside. It's generally a good chart right there. Oh man. All right, cool. Let's go check it out. Reggie Classics D Gentleman says, hey, how can I contact you about an indicator I've made I'd like you to look at? I tried, look, man. Yeah, I saw that. We really don't want people advertising their stuff on Discord, because then it's just going to incentivize everyone else to do it. And we want it to be a community of people, not a community of shillers. Not saying that that's your intended purpose. I'm sure that, of course, like, you put a lot of work into it, you really believe in it. At the moment, honestly, man, I'm really not looking to incorporate more indicators or anything like this. I'm very happy with my current setup. In fact, if anything, I want to get rid of some of the indicators on my store, just because I feel like it's too overwhelming. I like simplicity, and I like the stuff that I already have, to be honest with you, man. But look, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to like lead you on anything like that. I'm personally just not that interested right now. I'm not saying that it doesn't have value. I'm sure it very likely does. It's just not what I'm interested in at the current moment, man. Anyways, moving on, we got, and then, actually, I want to address this really quickly because it's a very redacted comment. Mr. 86 says, boss, remember when you called 90 to 91,000 bucks on your caretaker indicator? I shorted that to $66,000. Not sure exactly what you're talking about. If you're talking about the HPDR signal, well, one, that is actually not how that works out. I was not calling 90. What I was calling is that it's likely to bounce to the median before new lows, which has actually been true so far. But that can come down, and it is going to come down, and it probably will test it, at some point. But at the end of the day, man, if you can't understand these things, if you can't understand the actual interpretation of these tools, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. But hey, congratulations on your short down to $66,000. I'm sure it's really great, man. I'm sure it's really, really great. Cool, man. Anyways, AAP says monthly on Monero, please. Sure. Got XMR right here. We already did ZEC. I feel like these things kind of move together in a way. This one, yeah, I'm still running with the LARP lines right here, man. I'm still running with the LARP lines right here. We got. Actually, we don't even have a signal right here, but we do have a rejection on a couple major movement averages. This, to me, is a pretty strong signal along that 200 simple and green 55 EMA. It's generally where you expect your trending lower highs in a downtrend, which this is. I still think that these LARP lines are, I mean, maybe it doesn't come down this low. I don't know exactly about that, but I do think it is coming down from here, man. I really do think that it's coming down from here. Anyways, you're saying putting a massive ascending triangle from 2018, can we trust it? Is it? Oh, you're talking about this. Maybe. I mean, maybe, but if it is, okay, so let's run with the assumption that it is. If it is, then, well, we just rejected the top side of it, so kind of got to be expecting a move to at least the midpoint of this formation, which would be about 250. And if things get really crazy, I mean, maybe another test on the bottom side of it as well. So fair enough. Oh, you said to short scalp. Oh, sorry, man. I am misinterpreting what you said. I apologize about that, Mr. 86. I apologize. I just misinterpreted what you were saying there. Yeah. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Yeah. Anyways, let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we have. The Schwab says, looking forward to the options education playlist. When you are finished, could you look at PG weekly and monthly? And sorry, 86. I should also just acknowledge the reason why I was coming at that is because there have been previous comments, similar thing. So I thought that was like the same guy, the same thing, but it wasn't. My apologies. Anyways, the Schwab wants to look at PG weekly and monthly. This is another long-term hold. Okay. Procter and Gamble. Okay. Don't like it. Really don't fucking like it. Really don't like it. So this lower high right here is significant, man. I think that this is reversing into a very nasty like downtrend. I mean okay. So right now you have a high, you still have a higher low right here, but you have a lower high, and almost every uptrend into downtrend reversal begins with a lower high. So this one I think has a real possibility to reverse a monthly trend. Yeah, I genuinely think that this one's going to come down to like 120 if we fast forward, I don't know, like a year or something from now. Yeah, this rejective lower high right here, I really don't like. Now, obviously my LARP lines are incorrect here, but I still think they're going to directionally get a similar sort of response. Let's see are there any signals here? Yeah, there is a phantom drive of bearish divergence here. Fair enough. Usually that's good enough to get like back down to that previous low. So that's only like 137. I'm kind of anticipating maybe another drop a little bit lower. But if I really wanted to pick it up long term, I think that you're going to get a better price personally. I think that you might get closer to like 125 or so. If I end up being wrong, how will you know that it's actually reversing from its current stature or current area? I guess if it popped back up above like 160, I'd reverse my position. But I just don't think that that's happening here, man. This is very clearly a bull trap. I mean, for fuck's sake, like vertical into a lower high in the monthly, like that's to be quickly erased right out. That's pretty ugly, man. It's pretty ugly, man. Anyways, you're saying, oh, sorry. Let's see. Yeah, look, if it's a long-term hold, I get it because long-term, the trend is great. I mean, the chart is great long-term. Just, I think you probably get a better price. This thing has a beautiful long-term history of putting in some pretty amazing lows at the green 55 EMA and the quarterly. And that's kind of where I'd be going on this one right here. Again, you got many drives of bearish divergence on the quarterly as well. So I would be betting on more downside personally. Yeah, man. Let's see. Plonker says, yeah, I was referring to the lows on the monthly Jewel had made previously. This time around, doesn't it seem like there could be a good way down still? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that that's a valid interpretation of this for sure. You know, because right now the monthly Jewel is at 50 and the previous ones were bottoming at, 30 or lower. Now let's see, how much could we realistically expect it to come down in just one period? Well, the previous period to the current period went from 58 to 52. So yeah, I mean, only 8. So let's say even like on a kind of a hopium estimation, like it could lose 10 points on the monthly Jewel. Well, still from 50 to 30 is going to be, well, that'd be 2 months. So that's not that long, I guess. Probably more like 3 to 4 if it continues with this current trajectory. So 4-ish months. But remember, this can come down with price continuing to kind of hang around these lows. It will still come down, to be fair. So it doesn't necessarily mean that price has to come down more. It's more so this has to reset down. And that can happen even if Bitcoin just fills out this region between the current highs of this month and let's say maybe as low as like $50,000. That could still be a thing. So it's more of like a timing analysis rather than a price analysis in this case. So I'd say somewhere around 4 months, let's say, give or take a month, something like that could make sense. Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. The Boo Boo Gaga. Let's look at the euro dollar. I think I looked at this one the other day. I think it was topping pretty hard. Topping very hard. Yeah, still topping pretty hard here, man. Quarterly does look to me like it's going to be the next lower high. And a series of lower highs has been ongoing since 08. So, yeah. Euro dollar continues to oscillate in this range, and I think you just found the highs of your range. Again, you got another one of those beautiful examples of putting in a high around that green 55 EMA in a downtrend, and you will have, once this one really does confirm coming down, yeah, you will have hidden bearish divergence on Caretaker's RSI as well. So that should be good enough to get it back down to like 108, maybe even all the way down here to like 103. But somewhere in that pocket there is kind of where I'd be looking for. This can take a long time to be fair. You don't really give me timeframes on this, but yeah, I'm generally looking sideways and down here. There'll be bounces on like a daily and weekly, but you know, monthly, quarterly, these things are not great right now. Even the monthly is a rejection of the 200 simple. So a lot of technical reasons to be looking for another move down. Yeah, cool, man. Very lovely to see you live as well, Mr. Arun Sharma. Yeah, man. It was a little bit easier in Europe, of course, but we're always changing time zones, man. If you've been watching this channel, you've probably seen me change time zones like 6 times at this point. I've moved, I think, close to 10 times in the past 8 years. It's actually insane. Let's see. Chicago, Helsinki, back to Chicago, or then Estonia, then back to Chicago, then back to Helsinki, move to a different place in Helsinki, then Dubai, then Florida, and then where we're at right now. It's 9 times. Holy shit. I hate moving, man. I'm done. We're staying here. The conservative cat says ORCL. Sure, ma'am. Daily, weekly, ORCL. Let's do it. Good late morning. Good late morning to you as well, sir. Oracle, long-term value. If you're a long-term investor, I don't hate this area. Do I think it's going to come down more? Potentially, yeah. Very possible. But you know, I think if you want to hold this thing in a core long position, you got to buy some here or some around like 140-ish region. I would also very much be aware that this thing can come lower. And if it does, you know, you're probably looking at about 110 to $100 even. But, you know, so that is a pretty decent drawdown from there. But look, if you're a long-term investor, I'm never going to hate putting some money in when it hits the weekly 200 simple. Never going to hate, you know, coming off of the monthly 55, which is going to have potential for hidden bullish evidence here too if it reverses exactly right here. I think that that's a big question mark at the moment because it literally just got rejected by the 5 EMA. So it's not really acting like an asset that wants to put in a low there. But hey, what I'd say about this, look, if I just wanted to position, I'd probably buy a little bit here, but I'd also realize that, hey, it's probably going to come down to like 110 at some point in the next half year. Something like that, man. Long-term is great. I mean, this is a great chart long-term. So it's like, I don't hate DCAing into a chart like this for sure. In fact, this is the picture perfect kind of chart that you want to DCA into. It's already down more than 50% from the highs. So I just think it's going to come down a little bit lower. Is that worth it to you or not? I don't know. Yeah. And don't really have to worry about this one running away and reversing as long as it's below the price action pivot here at 207.80. So yeah. Chicago intro was cool. Faux show. Indeed it was, man. That's right. Chicago before Finland. Yeah, man. When I first started this channel, I was actually living in Chicago in a very small studio. And I was doing that for like a few months. Then I moved to Helsinki to be with Elsa. And we moved to like 3 or 4 different places there as well. Yeah, man. A lot of moving around. Crypto Ninja says CDRE on the daily. Gotcha. CDRE. Okay. Cadre Holdings. Okay. Well, that's a hell of a weekly. God damn, man. Who died? I mean, really though, who died? You're right on the weekly 200 simple, or no. You hit the weekly 200 simple last week. I think you probably get another run at it, but I'd be looking for a low in this region here. My nose is so itchy right now. There must be like, what's it called? Allergy season coming back. Okay. My circle's maybe a little bit too low there, but something around here. And I do think that you will bounce from there. It's not my favorite chart though. I personally would not buy something like this. I just don't like it. I just don't like a chart that loses this much in a fucking week. I mean, that's not the best sign. This month already it's down 35%. That's a lot for traditional markets, man. Look, do I think it's hitting a low right here? Maybe it goes a little bit lower effectively to like $30 even, possibly yes, but I think that this is where you get a bounce region. You know, I'm never going to hate first test into a higher term time frame 200 simple. It's almost always going to bounce, but is it going to be like the most amazing bounce, you know, back onto the heavens? I don't know about that, man. I think it's going to take some time to shake itself out at best. How to look more gay? Well, I'm actually a professor in such things, so I can tell you right now. First, get multiple hair transplants, then I don't know, shave off your beard by accident, because I did that. Definitely worked for me. Looking very homosexual right now. But there's nothing wrong with that, man. We love our homos. We love our homosexuals. They're good. What about Bitcoin? I mean, we went over Bitcoin for the first like 20 minutes of this video or so. You can scroll back there, man. What was wrong with St. Pete? There's nothing wrong with it. Florida's great, man. I love Florida. I love Florida. We could easily move back there. I love Florida, man. It's a great place. Great fucking place. I don't have anything against Florida at all. I love it. Elsa loves it too. It's great. But, we want to be a little more close to family and everything. So moved away. But yeah, it's very possible we go back at some point. I mean, St. Pete's is fucking beautiful, picture perfect, beautiful. Tampa was beautiful as well in its own way. I do have to say, once you go a little bit out of the city center for Tampa, it does start to break down a bit. Start to get into the hoods there. Start to get in the weeds. When's FOMC? Well, that's a question for Grok. I don't know. Let's see. Let's ask Grok right now. Usually it's like an hour after market, but let's see. When's the FOMC today? Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is actually in about 30 minutes. Is that in 30 minutes? Wait a second. That's the policy decision. Yeah. And then you got the conference call coming out at 2:30. That doesn't sound right. Wait, what? That is okay. That is in 30 minutes, right? Yes. Right? Yes. I think so, at least. It's at 2 p.m. Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern time. So fair enough. Used to be much gayer, but then I got with Elsa and she's taken away from my gaydom. So I think maybe we need to get rid of her. We need to reduce Elsa-ness. Look at hype for some reason it's pumping and outperforming Bitcoin. Yeah, it was doing the same thing on Monday too. It's like I want to hate this thing, but it's unhateable at the moment, unfortunately for me. Where was the more long-running chart? I think it's this one. Yeah. This one is running away. This is a real reversal. That is a real reversal. Said it was kind of likely on Monday. Yeah, fair enough. Probably does retest these highs here at $50. Fair enough. FOMC watching stream today. I would love to, sir, but today is a range day, and I have many new toys to try out. Actually secured a Glock 19, the new generation, yesterday. I was actually really surprised how much I like it. They're actually really good. I get it. I get why people like them. They fucking work. They're easy to operate. They're reliable. They take all fucking ammo, no matter how dirty it is, I guess. But yeah, I need to zero some of my sights as well, man. And Wednesday's my range day, man. I love going to the range on Wednesday. No one's there. Pop off all the shots you want. No one's in your fucking face. It's beautiful. Have we got Elsa pink Glock yet? Soon she'll be getting a bedazzled Glock. Great. Decentralized has been in Florida a few times. Clearwater Beach was amazing. Yeah, man. I remember our first time going to Clearwater. We were going over the bridge, and as soon as we go over the bridge, like both of our jaws are just on the floor. Like, what the fuck? This is so unbelievably beautiful. It's so picture perfect. How does this exist? I mean, I was blown away, man. Now, then once we get into Clearwater, we see all of the damage from the hurricane. Yeah, the hurricane that happened the year previous. And I'm like, okay, beautiful place to visit. Not going to buy a house here. Hitting up Clearwater for Easter weekend. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, it's such a beautiful place. It really is, man. It really is. Range day, best race is Frito. Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been really enjoying going balls deep into just becoming a gun nut, man. I love it. So much fun. Simple Jack says, I live in Clearwater for 2 years. Loved it. It's where my grandmother is. Yeah, man. I totally get it. It really is picturesque. Like, I can't imagine living in Clearwater full time, and then where do you even go on vacation? You don't need to. Like, what are you going to do? Go to Thailand? Like, it's not going to be nicer. Crazy, man. It's just crazy how beautiful it is. It really is special, man. It really is. Yeah, I did get the new Generation 6 Simple Jack. I did, man. I was actually really surprised with it. It genuinely feels good in the hands. Like before, I kind of used to think Glocks were just like the hood gun and shit like that, but nah, man, I'm definitely wrong on that. That was they are pretty damn cool. I get it. Like they're trusted by they're trusted by, you know, many militaries and many law enforcements for a reason. They just work. They ain't pretty. It looks like a giant block, you know, looks like a gun that you'd buy from Roblox, but or Minecraft, but hey, it works, man. Florida's beauty, but the people suck. There are some questionable people there for sure. God, I remember. I can't even tell this story that I want to tell because like the words that were used were so offensive that it would get me banned off of YouTube. But it was bad, man. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I don't know. There's something about being in Florida, probably over time, like your brain you just grow like brain worms or something. It's too humid, you know, you're growing mold in your brain or something like that. Sunny London, that is a conundrum if there ever was. Hopefully all is well there, man. That's fucked up, yeah. I'm a former Marine, gun nut myself. Hell yeah, dude. We love our military. American military, the best, the most prideful in the whole world. Amazing, absolutely fucking amazing. Yeah, man. To be honest, man, I actually met a former Marine recently as well, and he had some pretty bad stories about being in the Marines. So it kind of made me a little bit disillusioned. But yeah, yeah, heat, laziness, and drugs. Yeah, man. I mean, Florida's great for some things. For other things, maybe not so much. Wasn't so impressed with the infrastructure there. I'll put it that way. But hey, they don't have state taxes, so how are you gonna get that money? But yeah. Yeah, we're all here. Luckily, no big war threats, though. Just money to make whilst shorting shit. Indeed, man. Indeed. A fair proposition. I spent a lot of my childhood winters in Clearwater, summers in London. Oh, man. That's the way to do it, I guess. Or is it actually sunny in London during the summers? Because I hear it's always rainy. Like you got 300 days of rain a year. Crazy. Why do people say to be honest when they speak? It's just a crutch, man. It's just a crutch, you know. Obviously, if you don't preface something by saying just being honest, you know, it doesn't mean that you're not being honest. Just I don't know, man. It's just a bad crutch from growing up. That's just it, man. Just being honest. Just being honest, bro. SPS 6900. I mean, shit, man. You're gonna talk shit about me? Like, fuck, man. Look at your goddamn chart. Anyways, Tone Vase in the house. Wait, what? We got Tone Vase? Oh, it's Kryptone. Holy shit. Is Tone Vase still at it, man? I haven't heard him in a long time, man. Live here on my 15-minute break. Fuck yeah, man. Good morning to you. Yeah, it's crazy. My son's graduating the Army Friday, and my other son leaves for the Air Force. That's cool, man. Yeah, military families are the best. The Marine Corps sucks. Yeah, I always hear like, don't join the Marine Corps. Just go to the Air Force. Go to the Air Force. Hang out. Have a good time. ST says just caught up with the chat. Hymns weekly and monthly. Gotcha, man. Gotcha. Hims and hers. Hims and haws. Daily don't like. Weekly. Think it's more than likely you put in a local high here and you work your way back down towards that gap at 17.5. I'm not necessarily bearish on it though. I think that you very well might have the low in here. I just think it's a short-term downside move. This thing's already come down from 70 to 24. So what? It's like a 70% retracement. I just went out. Sorry, more 80%. Jesus, bad. Short term, I think you got some down. Long term, I think this is probably a low. But you know, does it look like this? You try for a higher low here and then bounce out. Hopefully, something like that. But yeah, I do think your next move is down. It's just I think that your lows are probably in there. I think that they're probably in. Yeah, I know, man. I used to say that as well. You know what I mean? Or as the black people say, nah, I mean. Elsa gets very confused when she hears Ebonics. She's like, what the fuck are they saying? And why do they say nah, I mean all the time? What did they say? Do you know what I'm saying? Yes, I know what you're saying. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes, I know what you're saying. Know I'm saying? Yeah, it's good. Know I'm saying? Bitcoin's going down. Know I'm saying? We're going to be going up right now. Know I'm saying? Bitcoin's going down. Gold's going down. Know I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? Know I'm saying? Yes, sir. I know what you are saying. CHPS for crypto grapple. Sure, man. CHPS. What is this? Semiconductor, something rather. Weird one here. I can already tell you that this thing does not trade very often. You can see like all of this price action here, just getting like a trade a day, maybe, if that. So I think if you want to trade semiconductors, probably better things, to be honest, or more, at least more liquid things. But look, if I had to call it, I think this is your next higher low. Do you have hidden bearish divergence? No, you don't. It'd be a lot easier of a call for this being the next higher low if there was hidden bearish, or sorry, hidden bullish divergence. My apologies, hidden bullish divergence. But you don't have it. Regardless, I am more inclined to say it does pop up here. But look, man, the problem with this is that it doesn't trade that much, so it's hard to trust the signals here. It's hard to trust the chart that much. But if I had to call it, I think it's probably up from here. I would relent on this view if you come back down below last Friday's low, Friday the 13th at 53 and a quarter, and close below there. If you do that, I'd be bearish. But that's kind of like a gun to the head analysis, I guess. And then, hey, if you trade back above last week's high at 58.49, very possible. It's not that far away right now. I'd send this thing to new highs. And I think that's more likely to happen personally. You don't sound very colored, Crown. Wait, what? Doesn't sound right, man. I'm in Canada. This is crypto. Cool, man. You heard? Yeah, you heard. Or y'all? No, y'all is pretty normal. In around where I grew up, not at my schools, but at other schools, they taught Ebonics, which is like, I guess it's like Blackanese. It's like black speak. It's actually like quite difficult to understand if you don't study it. It's kind of funny. Pink is a color. It is indeed. It is indeed, but I hear it's purple on the inside. I couldn't help it. You set me up right there. I couldn't help it, okay? I could not help it. In college, one of my friends was dating a black girl, and I just couldn't help but blurt out, "Is it purple inside?" That's not horrible. It's a genuine question, okay? I didn't know. That's just doing research. Sorry for being a fucking scientist over here. You finna, yeah, finna. I don't like finna, man. Finna is weird. It's like, just say, "Are you gonna do it?" Like, finna? What the fuck is finna? I'm finna get ready to do that. It's like, what? I don't understand where that one comes from. Like, nah, mean, that makes sense. I like that one. Crown, you look gayer than a few months ago. Does the bear market make people gay? Yeah, especially when you do it in all capitals, which makes you extremely cool too. All good, Arun. All good, man. Rickwald says, sounds, oh no, I'm not going to say that one, ma'am. I'm not going to say that one. I read it before I said it, and I usually don't do that, and I'm glad I did this time. Bro, if you ever run that G2 Ripper ammo, what is G2 Ripper ammo? Do not run it through a Glock. Okay, fair enough. Finna is actually Southern country. Okay, I didn't know that one, ma'am. Indeed, it is science. We're all scientists here. We're all real scientists. Gnome saying, sim saying. Yes, indeed. Front month natty gas. Sure, man. Let's look at that for Wolverine Dan NG. Yep, there we go. I'm guessing this one is the one you want to look at. What stands out to me long term is that natural gas is just, I mean, if you just drew a line through this, oops, let me just draw one line perhaps. That might be actually useful. Like, that would be about right. Look, if I have to call this one, it's going to be down. I really don't trust my views on gas and oil, these sort of things, but I see a lower high rejection right here. I see a general downtrend, but it's mostly just sideways. So I'd be biased towards downside. How much do I trust this? I don't. Do I trade this thing? No. Do I think it's going to go down in the short term? Probably yes. My super ultra bearish? I don't know. I think ultimately you're ranged between 190 on the low end and probably like 5.5 on the upper end, and you just reject the top side, so you're more likely to come down. That'd be my take on that, man. Freddie M says, RCAT earnings today? Hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah. $18. This one, did it just make new highs? No, I don't think so. Jesus Christ, man. Okay, full disclosure, I own a lot of this one. I even was looking for a correction here. Not that I would have sold any, but looks like it actually wants to try to break out today. I'm really skeptical of these rallies into earnings, because a lot of the times it'll sell off after earnings, despite earnings potentially being good. A lot of the time these things just sell off afterwards, but look, if there ever was a time to break out, this is it, man. Like, just technically speaking, yeah, I think whether it's now, whether it's in a month, whether it's in 2 months or 3 months, whatever, I think that you're going to see this thing between 25 and 32. You know, that's how I'm looking at this one, and maybe even higher than that overall. And again, full disclosure, I own a lot of this one from significantly lower as well. But you know, with earnings coming up later today, I'm always very skeptical on earnings, because you might get one of these where it does slam down, ends up putting in a higher low is what typically happens, and then tries its upside move. But for right now, it's in a strong position. I'm not bearish. It's just a lot of the time you do get pullbacks after those earnings, shit like that, man. If you want volatility, trade European natural gas. Actually, that makes a lot of sense, just because their natty gas kind of fucked, isn't it? Or is it natural? Is it fucked? I mean, it's just the situation is fucked. Yeah, a lot more volatile, but I'll be looking for a lower high right here, man. I'm always going to be looking for highs or lows at a 200 simple like this on a weekly. So yeah, especially when it's in a downtrend as well. Can you check out DRSHF? Okay. DRSHF. It's a long one, man. Drone Shield. That's a cool name. Oh man, trades OTC, but I like it. I like the narrative. I like the chart. I like the higher low right there. I think you probably even have some hidden bullish evidence. Indeed, you do. I'm looking up, and away, man. I think that this thing retests those highs and probably makes new highs in the coming months. It's good. It's good. It's good indeed. Wolverine Dan says natural gas is a cycle play. Yeah, fair enough. I see that. I think you just found your. I think that you cycled up towards those highs, and now you're coming back down though. That's just my take. Kospi is looking like this market wants to break out. Okay, let's check it out. I don't think I've ever seen this one before. Is this KRK? Is that Korea? Oh, Korean Stock Exchange. I mean, look, it's the breakout was over here, to be fair, but maybe you're on like a daily or a weekly. Look, it's bullish. I think it's going to make new highs from here. You got hidden bullish evidence on another low. Like, it's textbook. I think that you will make new highs from here, but this is a pretty egregious run at this point. I don't know. Let's see what the areas of interest are upon continuation. I guess 7,000 is the next big one. I guess. Canic TP9. I've heard good things about Canic. It's like a better Glock, isn't it? Something like that. I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch. I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch. I wish to wash my Irish wristwatch. Hard, very hard. South Korean stocks have been amazing. I'm curious what the won is looking like versus won. No, Korean KRW. Yeah, KRW. That's the one. Yeah, so as you would expect, their currency's just getting devalued, I think. But hey, if the currency's getting devalued, own the assets. That's the play. That's how you get rich. Or it's not even how you get rich. It's how you don't get super poor. Yeah. I think that's a currency devalue play rather than stocks are like really gaining a significant amount of value, but fair enough. All right, Asian massage reviews. I think we'll end on this one actually for Asian massage. He's looking at PEMIF. They don't fill any of my limit cells yesterday from 40 to 48 cents. What a bunch of jerks. Yeah, unfortunately, it works out like that very often when it comes to OTC bullshit. Yeah. Oh, wow. And you perfectly got that high too. Man, that would have been a 20 or 30% move. Almost instant bearishness. God, man. Yeah, I know that feel. But I don't know, man. OTC bullshit, kind of got to expect some fuckery, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's a good place for us to leave off today. Again, sale ending tomorrow. The code is 8YEAR, 8, just the number 8. And then in all capitals, year, no spaces, no nothing like that. Got it up right there. 20% off of any one of the programs or services in the link description below. I am making significant progress now on the options playlist. I think I will be able to have it ready next Friday. But there is, the problem with the options playlist is that when I go through the content, I'm like, wait, I need to add one more thing. So I think I need to add at least another video. I think I can get it done. I think I'll make a lot more progress this weekend as well. But the quizzes are going well. I'm almost halfway done there. We're going to get it done. Whether it's next week, whether it's the week after that, I think we will do a soft launch on Teachable, and then we'll do YouTube later. But yeah, man, again, massive pleasure to speak with everyone on this nice little Wednesday morning. Smash the likes. It is, as always, appreciated. And I don't know, consider subscribing if you do want more of these videos in your inboxes. And other than that, yeah, we'll be signing off. We'll be back on tomorrow with another regular, just, 10-minute long analysis or so. And then another live stream for Friday. So other than that, wish you the best as always. Take care. Much love and see you hopefully